Hello you, it's Josh here, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another tutorial. Today guys, I'll be showing you how to make the most efficient, smallest and cheapest money farm that you can make right here in the entire game, step by step, making it as easy as possible for you guys to follow. So as you can see right here guys, I've got a completely clean plot. I have got 3.5 million on this plot just to make it a little bit easier for me to show you here, and so I don't have to, you know, spend an hour and a half making this tutorial or something like that. But I'm going to be basically just starting from a completely clean plot with no guests, no rides, no nothing. So here we go guys. First thing that I recommend doing is that you go into your park information and making this £10 right here. Just so people can come in, you know, while you're making your money farm, and you can still earn a tiny bit more money. But what I'm going to be doing here guys is I'm going to be making mine as discreet as possible right here. So I'm going to be hiding it under the ground where nobody can see it right here. Although feel free to obviously make yours above ground if you don't want to, you know, if you don't want to spend as much time and money on this, then obviously you can build this above ground. But say you're building a theme park, you obviously don't want a massive money farm ruining your sites and whatever. And if you want to build anything at the front, obviously that's going to be a slight problem. So I'm going to show you how to build this underground, but you can do the exact same thing. All you need to do differently is, instead of building this ramp, which I'll show you how to do in just a second, just build it straight above ground. But anyway, speaking of that ramp, let's get on with it. So first of all, what we're going to do here is we're going to get a path cobblestone right here. We're just going to place this in. I'm going to remove the path curb and paint it grass like so, just like that, just because, you know, it hides it a little bit more. Although obviously feel free to paint this whatever you want, it does not matter. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into our terrain right here, go into block manipulation, and we're just going to do exactly like this. We're just going to place one to the left here, to the right here, I guess, if you're looking from the park entrance. And then we're just going to go 2 down like this, and we're just going to go 3 down like that. And now what we're going to do is we're kind of just going to make a staircase out of terrain right here, going all the way down to the bottom of the plot right here, as you can see, like so. Then next, obviously, we need to clear out a space right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start to clear out a space right here. You can see this little 2x2. We're going to make a 3x3 space like that, a 4x4 space like that, and then finally we're going to make a bit of a 5x5 space like so. Now actually we're probably going to want to just increase ours by a little bit more here, so what I'm going to do is increase our brush size all the way up, and we're just going to delete that like that. And now we've got the basis of our money farm. Now this is completely up to you, but I'm going to make mine 3 tall right here, just so it's a little bit easier for me to show you what to do. Although obviously feel free to only make this 2 tall. You don't have to make this 3 tall at all. You know, it'll work with 2 tall too, and it'll save you a bit of money right here. But anyway, we should probably get some paths coming in here, because right now we've not actually got any paths coming down. So we're going to get a cobblestone path again. We're going to turn our path curve off and just paint it grass. And we're going to have these slopes going all the way down this big staircase that we had right here, going all the way down to the bottom. Now when you actually get down here, I recommend using like a concrete path or something like that, just because it's going to make everything a lot easier right here to tell where everything is. And if not, then you're not going to know where grass is and where it's not. And really down here, it doesn't matter if it looks nice or not. So in fact, I'm even going to paint all of this going all the way up to this top part. Obviously we can't paint this top part because we don't want to, you know, we don't want to make it look weird from the outside. But you see right there, we're just going to bring our path all the way down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our path and actually bring it like this. So we're going to leave a 1 wide gap right here, because we're going to fit in a bunch of stalls and shops and stuff like that right here. And then all the way across here, obviously, we're going to have our path running all the way along. Now, for starters, actually, I think we're just going to expand out this just a tiny bit more, just so I can show you what this is here. And what I'm basically then going to do, guys, is I'm going to time-lapse me building the rest of this money farm right here. You know, doing a bit of a voiceover, interjecting every so often just to talk about some stuff. But I'm going to give you the basis of what to do right here, and then you can probably work it out from there. But just in case you can't, I'm going to time-lapse it, and you can watch me do the rest of it right here. But what we're going to do before that, obviously, is I'm going to show you how to build the money farm, actually. So we're also going to dig it out just a little bit this way. That actually got rid of a bit of grass there. I don't know, we might even need to get rid of a bit more grass right here, but for now, we're just going to block this all up like this, just so, you know, we know what we're doing right here. Everything's flat. And now, again, we're going to bring our path going all the way along right here. Just bringing that all the way along. It looks lovely, doesn't it? So now, guys, now we're actually going to get onto our rides right here. Now, once you actually, when you're actually starting right here, I recommend you start with a junior coaster track, a custom track right here, and a couple flat rides. Now, the way that I'm personally going to set mine up is that I'm going to have another ramp coming down the other side right here, and I'm going to have roller coasters going all the way down this way, and in between the 2 ramps, I'm going to have flat rides, just because it's a good way to organize stuff easily. But obviously, feel free to do this however you want. There's definitely different causes to be said on how to place your coasters right here, although when it comes down to it, it really doesn't matter. It's probably going to work anyway. But what we're going to do right here is we're just going to place our junior coaster right here. We're going to make our station just 1 long right here, only one long to make this as small as possible. Now you can make this 2 long if you want to have a bit more, you know, what's the word? A bit more throughput right here. Although if we want to, you know, make this as small and, you know, as well made as possible, it doesn't matter if we can't get as many people in our queues or as many people going through, because we're going to have so many roller coasters, it really won't matter. So once we've actually placed our station in right there, we're just going to get an up section, and we're just going to place 2 up sections like that. Very simple, as you can see right there. That's literally it for your roller coasters. This is all we're going to make, because you can see here, it's very dark, by the way. I'm going to place just a little light in here just so we can see what we're doing when I come out of here. Although, obviously, you know, feel free to either just dig out all of the roof or whatever, or just work in the dark. That's completely up to you. But you can see right here that if we just actually put this train lift down to 1 right here, and put this on testing, you can see this little thing is just going to go wee. And as you can see right now, it's not going to be very exciting, but that's where the next part comes in, which is going to be scenery. Well, it's the next part. We still need to get all the paths and stuff like that, but that's where scenery comes in. So obviously, our ride right now is just going backwards and forwards, so we actually want to add an entrance and exit. So I'm just going to close this right here, and I'm going to put my entrance right here, and my exit right here. Now, keep in mind that you do need disabled collisions for this money farm, although I will be maybe making another video on this without a disabled collisions. If you want me to, guys, you know, let's hit like, I don't know, maybe I'd say 100 likes on this video, and I'll do a money farm without the actual, without disabled collisions right here. But to make this as small and, you know, efficient as possible, we're going to be using just obviously our stuff right here, just our little, you know, disabled collisions thingy, just because it makes it a lot easier right here. Now, you can technically put your path right here, although it can make it a little bit buggy. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to place my path here and here instead, so you'll see that it should come out just under here. Now, technically in real life, that's how you chop guests' heads off, but in this game, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, like I said, feel free to put your paths this way, but I don't really like doing that just because it's a little bit buggy, and honestly, you're only saving 1 block of space anyway. It's not going to make too much difference, and, you know, it'll make it so that the game doesn't have a bit of a, you know, moment when you're doing this right here, and it also cleans stuff up a bit. But now we've got our exit path coming here a little bit. We obviously want to get our queue path, so we're just going to get a little cobblestone thing like so. Open the fence, obviously, you don't need to do this, but I like to, so we're going to right here, and we're just going to paint all this up because I like my money farm to look nice for some reason. And you can see right there, that's literally our ride done. No joke. That is our ride done right there. Now, one thing that we obviously do need to do is this exit path right now is not even connected to this path. So we're going to add a little path coming down here. Now, we're only going to have 2 of these paths because what we want to do right here is we're going to place a bunch of shops right here. So guests have to walk all the way past every single one of the shops right here to actually get out, which means that they've got a high chance of buying food and stuff like that. So we're going to have that going all the way along right here and obviously all the way down here. But we're not going to sort that out right now. For now, we can actually open our coaster right here. I recommend lowering the prices down for now, although we'll work out prices a little bit later, and, you know, I'll show you how to work out the right price there. But for now, you can see that people should hopefully soon start to ride this right here. You see Maria. Come on, Maria. Yes, Maria. Piper. There you go. You can see Piper's now going to ride the ride right here, and she's going to have a lovely old time. Look at her. Oh, go on, Piper. Have a cracking time, or not, I guess. I think you might be waiting for someone else, but you see right there you go. Look, Piper's gonna have a brilliant time. I mean, it's not a very exciting roller coaster, but you can see she even put her hands up right there. And when I actually, you know, put all the scenery in right here, this excitement rating and stuff will go way up, and this will be much more attractive. Although you don't even really need to do that to actually make people ride this. I mean, you can see right here, people are already riding this. It just means that you'll get a little bit less money out of your money farm right here. So we're just going to do this right here. But anyway, it's now time to expand our money farm. So actually, I'm going to show you how to do these flat rides right now, because it's going to be a little bit different before I get on with the shops and doing other roller coasters right here. So what we're going to do right here, basically, guys, is you can see this is going to be, like I said, our little area right here. Now, seeing as we're making a bit of money now, I am actually going to just dig out our other little staircase down here. Although, obviously, you don't need to do this. It's just that I want to line this all up here to make sure it all lines up properly. Although, like I said, as usual, do whatever you want right here. But anyway, I'm just going to quickly get all this dug out, so I'll be back in just a second. So there we go, people. As you can see, see I've dug out all this area right here. I basically just duplicated exactly what we did over here, except from I've obviously moved it over here as well. You can see all the paths and stuff is the exact same as what we did over here, which of course we're going to get some roller coasters in here just a little bit later. But you can see already that was a full train there of 4 people that was going on that ride. So this is working very, very well right here. And you can see that we're already getting 18 guests with just this one ride right here. And this basically has costed me nothing. I mean, if we look at my park value, it is literally only 1,352. And if I'm not mistaken, including your daily bonus right here, you have about $5,000 when you start off here. So literally, we're already making an absolute ton of money. But you can see one problem that we're having right now is trash. So before I actually show you how to do the flat rides right here, I'm actually going to sort out our actual, actual path amenities here, I guess. So we're going to go into our paths right here. And now what I recommend you do, although this is completely up to you, is that I recommend you place a trash can like this, and then you leave a 2 gap, place another trash can like so. Same over here, we're just going to do this all the way along like so. And then you'll see what we're going to place in the middle right here in just a second. That one's actually a 3 gap right there, which isn't brilliant. So I might actually just slightly change up what we're doing with these trash cans right here just to make it a little bit easier. Wait, that person just walked through that. What is that? What? Well, despite the magical guests that can walk through walls and exit the park like that, you can see I've now got all those bins in. Now, I actually spaced this out perfectly, and you can do that by literally just placing the bin at the end right here, and then doing 10 or 2 off there. Although, you know, that's just because I'm a perfectionist, and I like to get everything, you know, perfect right here. But, you know, feel free to not do that. That's just a waste of time, really, but, you know, it's completely up to you, honestly. So, anyway, now we've got all those bins right there. Also, something else that people want is to sit down. So, we're also going to add some benches in to the right of these right here, and you'll still see that we've got 1 gap right here, which actually I'm going to put a light on. Now this is when I was saying that you can do what you want right here, because really you don't need lights in here, and you'll be absolutely fine without lights in here. Like literally this light is pointless because you could just add these lights, or you could just have it pitch black in here. But I like to add lights just because it'll make it a bit easier for us to see around here and stuff like that. So we're going to add a light right here at like 2 or something like that, and I think I put the range there at 30. Now I don't know the actual maximum that we can have right here, although yeah, I think the problem is right now is that obviously we've got those light orbs right there. But if we just delete all our light orbs that we've placed down temporarily right here, just so we could see what the hell we're actually doing, you can see now is that if we go above ground at night, can I actually, it's not gonna let me delete it, is it? Bloody hell. But yeah, you can see now is that if we go above the ground right here, you can see absolutely no light. And you can see right here, if we actually just grab our light, we can keep on going up and up and up until we actually hit a limit where it'll go through the ground. So you can see right there, 41 is too much. 35 is a little bit of a light, but what you're going to really only get to is 30, like what I put it to before, like there. Because if you go any higher than that, then you will have problems with it coming through the ground. Now, if you don't mind having a massive fucking light show coming out of your ground, then make this higher. You won't need as many lights. But me personally, you know, I don't like it sticking through the ground right here. So we're just going to place all these lights in just like so, and it's going to look absolutely gorgeous here. So now we're going to have a little bit of lighting, although this isn't going to light up the entire park. Remember, it's only going to light us up a little bit, but it's still going to help us out a little bit. And as you can see, our wooden coaster is still, our little junior coaster right here is still doing absolutely brilliant, which is great to see. But now we've got all our path amenities in right here, we can now move on to the flat rides right here, which are going to be a little bit harder than just our normal rides right here, because obviously these are quite big. I mean, if you look at the balloon ride, look how absolutely huge this is right here. You know, we're not going to be able to fit that in properly, which means we're going to have to do some little tricks right here to fit these in just a little bit better. Now, something to keep in mind is that if you don't want things to stick through, for example, if I get a Ferris wheel right here and chuck that down there and just lock that height right there and just skedaddle upstairs, you can see that that is obviously going to stick through the ground. So right here, I'm only going to be using flat rides that don't stick through the ground right here, just because I want this to be as inconspicuous as possible. Although if you do want max efficiency, and again, you don't mind people things sticking through, especially if you're building this above ground, it doesn't matter about that sort of stuff. Just go with whatever you want, and you can do basically whatever you want right here. But for example, if we get a teacups right here, we just need to make sure that it's 2 away from the path. So you can see if I go from the path, it's 1, 2 away like so. And then because these are normally 2 or more wider, we can actually just fit all the paths in like here. So we're not actually going to bring our back path across here like we did before. We're literally just going to bring our, you know, queue like that, and our path like so. And then you can see we can just easily connect that up by getting that there. And then, for example, if we grab our path like that, we can, of course, chuck our path in. And you can see that is all looking lovely right there. And now if we open this, we're going to actually just leave it at £10. But if we open this right here, you can see that now people are going to be able to ride our teacups and they'll not have like any problem right here getting to that. And you can do this with every single flat ride. Like, this isn't much of a space right here that I've left right here, if I'm going to be completely honest. But keep in mind that at the end, we can also fit some more space in. And I'm going to show you a little trick on how to make this money farm actually 2 floors right here, so that you can fit more out of the amount of space that you actually have right here. So stay tuned and we'll go through that a little bit later. But anyway, you can see plenty of people are queuing up for our cups, and we're getting a ton of people on this coaster right here. But we're still at only half a star, which obviously is not brilliant. Now, one of the things that we're going to make to make that star rating go up is we're going to chuck in a lot of shops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my path going all the way along right here, and we're only going to sort out this side right now, although obviously we can sort out the other side a little bit later on. But what we're going to do right here is we're going to bring our path all the way along, and along this side right here, what we're going to do is have an absolute fucking ton of shops, because shops are something that you need an absolute ton of here, and it's something that's very, very important. So what I recommend doing here is I'm actually just going to dig this out just a little bit more so that we can fit these all in. But if we just dig this out just a tiny bit more right here, I recommend having these lamps right here have about 1 load of everything right here. So if we have a soft drinks, a pizza stall, an ice cream stall, a fries stall, a slushy stall, hot drinks, candy floss, popcorn, burger, refreshing fruit stall, and then of course we've got our restroom, dino hat, pirates hat, Santa hat, and almost perfect right there, but I guess, you know, we can't always be perfect. But then finally we're going to get our witch hat in like that. And that's going to basically be our entire length right here. And like I said, we're only going to have 1 length of every single shop right here, because that is going to be the length that we need to fit about every single coaster between the 2 floors. We'll be able to have even duplicates of some coasters right here. So that is the, you know, the longest I'd put it right here. Any longer than that, then it's a little bit ridiculous. And guess, obviously, as you get away from the entrance, they're going to become, you know, fewer, you know. You're going to get less and less guests coming down towards the end of the path. So you want to try and fit everything as close to this middle path as possible. So you can see right there, we've got all our shops in. Now, what I recommend is actually lowering the price of these shops here all down to 5. Now, this is completely up to you. You could probably get these at 10, but the guests sometimes are very stingy and don't like paying £10 for some reason. So I always just like to turn my prices down a little bit. Although, of course, we're going to get onto pricing a little bit later once we've built a little bit more of the money farm, and we can just sort out some more, you know, prices with that sort of stuff right there. Something else to keep in mind, that this restroom stall I normally bring down to 3 right here, just because it's normally a little bit better of a price right there. Because I mean, after all, it's a you know, a toilet stall, and these hat stalls right here, the ones that go a little bit more expensive, I know it's very hard to see, but if we see this one right here, we can raise that maybe up to £6 or £7 right there pretty easily. So yeah, we might as well have that there. And that's literally all the shops done right there. That's basically it. Now, you may remember me also saying that we're going to add some stalls and stuff along here, which is exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to extend our path up to here, and we're obviously going to get all of our stalls and stuff in here. Now, obviously, although we've got all our, you know, stuff right here, they can still actually get to these stalls right here. Now, what I recommend actually doing, in fact, instead of that, is doing this the opposite way around. So having the witch hats be here, then we have the Santa hats, then the pirate hat, dino hat, then restroom, and then what I do here is go left to right, ignoring a couple, because you can see right here, this is actually a little bit short. You can see we can actually add 2 more stalls in on here. So what I recommend is missing out the refreshing fruit stall and maybe maybe the popcorn stall or something like that, or maybe just miss out one of the hats. That's completely up to you. You know, you decide what you want to miss out right there. But anyway, we're just going to chuck in most of these right here. Obviously, like I said, we're not going to have popcorn, and we're not going to have refreshing fruit stall. We're just going to have that like that. And again, I'm just going to quickly set all my prices. A little pro tip right here, you can literally just click on them, click set all price, set all blah 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 to this price, and you can see everything's now going to be set, and I don't have to go through and turn it down for every single one very slowly and annoyingly. You see, that's just going to set them all like this. If we just go all the way across like so, you see we've got all those now in, and you see these will all be about the right prices like that, which, you know, magic. There we go. That's literally all the stall stuff that we need to do. And you can see we're already at 1 star, despite the fact that we've literally only got 1 gentle ride and 1 roller coaster right here. Now, what I would recommend is not doing it in the exact same order that I'm doing it right here, because really you should be adding more coasters in before you add more shops in and stuff like that. But obviously I'm doing this because I've got a lot more money. You know, I've got over 3 million to spend right here, so I'm fine in terms of money. Although what I do recommend, of course, is that you do actually, you know, do this in a, you know, an order that makes sense. You know, adding more coasters, adding a bit of everything over time slowly. Although, you know, this isn't really a tutorial to follow along with. I'm just going to be showing you this as quick as possible because I don't want this video to be like an hour long here, really, because that's not very convenient, is it? So I'm trying to make this just you know, as short as possible right here, just so, you know, I don't have to go through every single little thing right here and show you how to build the entire money farm about 14 times longer than it needs to be. But anyway, now guys, you can see we've got all of this in right here. I was just adding some, you know, benches and stuff right here into this other side, but that's basically the entire way to build this right here. I am still going to show you how to build a second floor right here. So what we're going to actually do now is we're going to do a little bit of a time lapse, and I'm going to get in every single ride right here as much as I can do on this first floor in this amount of space, as you can see right here. We're not going to go any further than this because we don't want to go too far, and we're going to see if we can fit every single ride in right here, and if not, then obviously we'll do the second floor. And anyway, I'll probably show you that anyway, because, you know, it's always useful to add some more stuff in right here. So actually, what we're going, oh yeah, one thing that we do need to actually do here, guys, and before we do that, actually, I forgot one thing. Now, this is something that I always forget when I'm building my own money farms, but we do actually want to add a lot of scenery right here to make this a bit more interesting. Now, what I recommend doing right here is doing this, like, logically. So for you can see here, we've got 4 different places where we can put scenery on this roller coaster. So this is how I recommend doing it. Going into your item snapping, doing default, and putting your snapping to 11.25. And basically just clicking as much as possible. Oops, okay. You may want to, what I recommend doing is just holding shift or something like that, just so it stays in the same place. See, we could just place that as many times as we can right here. Same with the rocks here, we're going to use some lovely rocks going all the way around right here. Same with the trees, we're going to have some trees going all the way around right here. And same with the cactus, we're going to have an absolute ton of cactuses right here, which looks very, very strange. But you can see right here that our excitement has suddenly gone from about 3 right here all the way up to 8.64. And remember, we're going to have more scenery right next to it, so we might be able to get that excitement all the way up to 10, which means a lot more people are going to want to ride this here. And despite the fact that it's literally just 3 pieces of track, it's actually going to be getting a lot of people right here, and a lot of people will want to ride this. That said, though, we're going to, you know, cue a bit of a time lapse right here. I'm going to build the rest of this first floor right here, so enjoy a little bit of music, and I'll see you in the commentary. Hang on, guys, sorry, I just need to cut in right here because I'd just like to point out something right here. Some of the roller coasters actually need a too long station to fit. You can see here, if I click testing, it just says cannot create carts on ride, cart length too long, blah 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 blah, whatever. Now what you basically need to do for this is, it's not very hard. All we're going to do is we're going to make a slight little change right here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of those 2 like that, and what we're going to do is just make this station a little bit longer. So we're going to make this a too long station like that, and have that go up like that. And then obviously we're just going to get rid of that right there and have our exit like this, because like I said, this will still work right here, and this is exactly why I said to do this sort of stuff. In case you have any problems like this, you know, this people can still walk here, they can still exit here, they can still get to the fry style. The only problem is that I don't know if we can place a bin on that. Actually, yeah, we can place a bin on there, and you can see that this should all work right now. We can place our entrance in, and people should be actually able to come onto here. And by the way, I'd just like to point out, we've done this second one right here. You can see this is already an excitement of 9.11. This one's still an 8.64, and you can see it's, you know, we're really starting to get some stuff in right here. But anyway, back to the time lapse. One thing that I would like to point out right here, guys, is actually, I would not put 2 of these too long stations next to each other. You can see I've left 1 gap right here, because like I said, although you can place all of these things next to each other, I recommend not doing that. And actually, I've just realized I think this could fit on 1 track, but, you know, still, I just want to point that out. If, you know, you have to have a too long station for stuff, don't put those next to each other, because it can bug things out and cause a bit of problems. One thing also to keep in mind here, guys, is what I think I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have all the 1 wide coasters, at least as many as I can fit right here, down on the bottom floor, and then I'm going to focus on doing those 2 wides upstairs. Although, actually, I think we may be able to fit a couple 2 wides. So, basically, I'll show you how to do those when it comes to it. But, you know, for now, I'm just going to be focusing on all the 1 wide ones first, like, you know, and then we'll go on to the 2 wides, and I'll show you how to do that when it comes up to it. Before we go back to the time-lapse, though, I would like to point out that we're already at 100 guests right here, and we already have 3.5 stars, and we've literally only built like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 coasters right here, and 1 flat ride and a couple shops right here. Keep in mind, you know, when we get all of these flat rides in, when we get all the roller coasters in right here, I think we may have a 5-star money farm right here. One thing that I'd also like to point out right here is that these big trees and these, you know, the bigger sort of trees right here, I wouldn't use because these take up more space, which means you can fit less items per limit. So I'd only use decorations right here, which are actually 1 by 1s. Oh dear, we've actually run out of stuff in the nature right here, but I say oh dear, but really it doesn't matter because what we're now going to do is that we can now just use our props right here. You see there's an absolute ton of props and you can use all these props instead. So what I do first is use the scenery, but then we're going to use props next because the game, if you want to get a 5-star park, it likes to have a variety of stuff right here. So we're obviously going to get a bunch of different items right here, not just these lots. So, you know, let's carry on doing the rest of these coasters and stuff right here. I thought I'd just check in right here, guys, and just show you that we've got all of these flat rides in right now. Now, obviously, we haven't actually gotten every single thing with all these stuff right here. Now, what I recommend doing is doing the exact same thing that we did over there with the roller coasters, and basically just absolutely, you know, filling these with an absolute ton of items right here. Now, what I'm actually going to do right here to start off with is I'm just going to fill this queue up with this here, because I don't know how much that'll actually bring that up by. Not much by the looks of it. Maybe we actually need to bring them into the ride right here, which is, I just like to point out how absolutely ridiculous this entire thing looks right here when you're just doing this sort of stuff. You can see right there, look, yeah, you can see it's starting to slowly go up. I wonder if actually, if we get rid of them in the queue, does that actually bring that down at all? No, I think that actually made that go up. Wait, what? Well, it seems like it actually made it go up a little tiny bit right here. But what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to fill all the rides with these right here, because basically in this ride right here, well, long story short, all the flat rides have got a pretty big blueprint right here. So we might as well just fill the actual the actual rides up here with stuff. And that should probably get us up enough right here without having to also add in the obvious, you know, the stuff in the queue, but I guess we will see here. Actually, something that I would like to point out is that you shouldn't be using personal statues. I've just done that right there, but that's a bad idea because personal statues take up a lot of megabyte space right here, and you really don't want to be placing in an absolute fuck ton of those in right here, do you? Now, one annoying thing about this ride right here is you can see it's actually limited, I think, to 6.14 excitement, because I can't seem to get it up any more than this by adding it in the queue and anything like that. So really, you only need to add stuff on the actual ride right here, because it seems like these flat rides are actually capped at a maximum excitement right here. I'm guessing because, you know, at the end of the day, they are gentle rides. You know, they're not intense rides right here. So that's one thing to keep in mind, that flat rides are a little bit more capped, which is why I'm focusing mainly on roller coasters right here. First of all, because they're going to get our stars up more, and they're going to get us a lot more money. But, you know, we've obviously got to still have a couple flat rides right here, because that'll obviously get our star rating up a little bit more, the more flat rides and stuff like that we have, because obviously we need a little bit of variety in here, or people are not really going to be very happy about that. And now that extremely painful job of getting in all those items are in there, you can see that hopefully these stuff should have gone up a little bit. You can see that obviously they're only going to go by a certain amount because they're flat rides after all. But, you know, it's not the end of the world here. You can see these have all been a bit more boosted. And we've now got 3.5 stars, which is actually the next thing that I want to talk about right here. And that's we're kind of at a bit of a standstill with our stars right here, which is for one reason. We're missing slow, like, gentle rides, this sort of stuff, you know, with our vintage cars and dark rides. And we're also missing water rides and transportation rides, which are 3 things that are going to make it be a little bit harder to go through right here. But I'm going to show you how we're actually going to do that right now here. Now, really, you want to be including these maybe upstairs or something like that, but we are at a bit of a standstill, and I just want to add these in right here just so I can actually show that we've actually got more stars than we have right here, because if not, then it kind of just looks like the entire thing is just going really slow, and this is actually a really bad design. So I'm just going to show you how to do that right here. So this is going to be very similar to how we did it over there, just a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we're going to get, for example, we're going to get our vintage cars in first right here, and we're just going to place a 1 station in like that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to do a turn, and then 1 straight, and then 2 more turns like so. Then we're going to put our entrance right here and our exit right here. And you can see that's basically how this is all going to work right here. I mean, you can literally probably work out what comes next, because it's going to basically be the exact same thing that we've done about 1 billion times right here. You know, just the only difference is that we're going to be doing it here instead. But you can see right here instead with different sort of rides, I guess. So you can see we're going to open that right now, and then people can start to ride that. In fact, actually, if we just put this on testing real quick, I've accidentally just put that through there. Oops. If we would just put this on testing real quick, you can see that's just going to go around the track really slowly. If you want to make this a little bit faster here to include, you know, increase efficiency right here, you can make that 500%. If you have that, and you can see right now it's going to absolutely fling itself around, or actually maybe it's not because it just doesn't feel like it, but maybe we need to up our track friction here, I don't know. Well, you can see right here, it's still going around a little bit faster than it was before. It hasn't got much to speed up on, you know, I guess, so it is what it is. But you can see right there, that's the sort of thing that we're going to do right there, and you can see this excitement is quite low because, you know, it is going to be. But again, we can add some stuff in like that. But what we're going to do here, guys, is I'm going to work through here, get the rest of the roller coasters in, get some more of these things in right here. So enjoy, again, a bit more music while I just sort this out. Hey guys, I just want to quickly point something out right here, which is actually something that I thought may happen, but I wasn't sure. What I recommend doing right here is actually, I'm going to get rid of these rides right here, and that's for one reason. The queue paths in this game are a little bit dodgy, and it's going to make your life much harder if you do it from right to left. So it's much easier if you start at the left to right here, just because basically the queue paths have a weird way of snapping, if not. So that's what I just recommend doing right here. I have just remembered that I forgot to chuck bins and stuff in right here, and they're absolutely trashing my part, which is lovely of everyone to do right here. But, you know, but I just keep that in mind there, guys. Start from left to right, because if not, you know, yeah, it's going to make your life so much harder. So that's just a little bit of a recommendation there, just to make your life a lot easier. So, guys, we've got every single 1 tile wide roller coaster in right here. You can see that we've still got an absolute ton of 2 wides right here, but we have got every single 1 wide roller coaster here, and you can see we are at 4.5 stars right now, and we almost have 200 guests, which, by the way, 200 guests is the absolute maximum limit that you can get right here in guests. So honestly, I don't think we're even going to need a second floor right here to get up to 5 stars. We might just need to slightly expand out left to right here, but honestly, we may be able to get this to 5 stars with just this tiny little area, which is absolutely incredible, and something that has, I don't think, ever been done before right here, you know, in this amount of size. But anyway, I want to show you right here how we're going to do our 2 wide coasters, because obviously we've got got a couple of these, and this is probably, along with a couple other things, what's going to actually push us over that 5-star right there to, you know, 5 stars right there. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to get a beyond vertical right here, just to start off with, because I think this is the first 2 wide coaster that we've got here, just to show. And what we're actually going to do right here is we're going to have 2 next to each other, is how I'm going to show you this, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to have it in couples of 2 right here, just to make this a little bit easier. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to have a beyond vertical like this, for example. And then we're obviously going to do the exact same design where we go 1, 2 up. And then if we just make that 1, we should be able to fit that in there, as you can see right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our entrance, for example, right, like this. And we're going to put our exit right like this, as we've done many, many times before. But then what we're going to do right here is we're going to get our next coaster. And as far as I know, we can't actually put those stations, no, sadly we can't put those stations inside of each other. But this is where it gets smart here, guys, because we're going to alternate them to fit as many as possible right here. So we're going to put our hypercoaster like so, and we're going to make that go up by 2 right here. And then, this is where it's going to get a little bit more confusing, but we're going to put our entrance right here. Oh, wait, actually, oh, crap, yeah, this is a bad example right here, because we're using a hypercoaster. Well, we're going to use it as something a little different to a hypercoaster, because that needs a too long station. I'll show you how to sort that out in just a second. But we're just going to use, for example, the suspended right here, and we're just going to go up to like so. I'm just going to make it so it actually does fit in there. Oh, it's still too long. Bloody hell, we're having a bit of problems here. There we go, we found one that actually fits there. We've got an inverted coaster. As you can see now, is that if we put our entrance right here and our exit right here, you can see the very genius thing that's going on right here. So what we can basically do right here is have our exit, it's already connected up to this path here, as you can see, and this one's already connected up. But in terms of our actual queue right here, we can either do 2 things right here. We can have our queue just go straight out like this, and then 1 more here, or we can actually add an extra stall right here. Now, what I think is we're actually going to maybe expand out our queue a little bit. Okay, no, never mind. It's not going to let us expand our queue out, and honestly, that's a big enough queue anyway. So what we're going to do right here is we're probably just going to put these on open like this. And we're going to put this like so. And then in these little gaps right here, guys, we can obviously fit some more stuff. So remember those 2 things that we didn't add much of earlier, popcorn and refreshing fruits. We can add some more of those in right here, which is very, very nice, as you can see. And then obviously we need to make these just a little bit cheaper so people will actually buy this sort of shit. But we can just sneak in these tiny little popcorn stands and stuff like that. And of course, we're going to do the exact same stuff with scenery right here as we did before to get these excitements right up. So though, guys, you may be asking, how are we actually going to do it here if it has to have a too long station? Because obviously that's going to cause a bit of problems, and it's going to ruin this entire very, very tight little interlock system right here. But don't worry, I have a way to fix that one too right here. So basically, what you can do, and you can really do these on these ones too actually, but I've done it like that just so it has a bit, you know, we can fit those little shops in right there. What you can do is just simply put your station sideways like this. So we can put this in like this, and then we can go 1, 2 like so, and then obviously we can expand out our, sorry, I did that a little bit wrong there. We obviously need to expand out our station by 1 more like that. Oh, crap, it's not going to let me. So, you may be asking, how are we actually going to do this here if it's actually a too long station? Now, sadly, I've tried a couple of things right here, and the only way to really do this here is we're going to have to resort to just placing them side by side like this, because obviously if you need a too long station, you can't really interlock them in the same way. Now, you kind of can, but well, no, you can't. You kind of really can't here. So we're just going to have a too long station. Put that up by, say, 2 here. But don't worry, guys, we can still fit an extra stall in right here, and we can just put, for example, oh, they're still complaining, are they? Oh, you fucking bastards. Well, the way that we can fix that right there is if we just add an extra station right here, we can't still make that any lower. Why? You know what? Fuck the hypercoaster. It's a piece of shit anyway. The suspended coaster is my new friend here, okay, guys? No one asked about the other one. But you can see right here that we should hopefully be able to take this down a little bit more. You can see we can just have one right here, and that'll fit in beautifully. And we can just add our entrance like so, our exit like so, and then like we did before, we can either just have that really short, we're going to have that really short, annoyingly right here. But we can just do that like that, and they can still technically get on this ride. It's not ideal, but if you do want to fix that, what you can do right here is obviously just actually move the entire ride a little bit over, which is what I would recommend doing right here, and just adding it like this. Although obviously you're going to not be able to fit in that stall right here, and you're going to have to replace one of these with an exit right here, which isn't brilliant. But you can see right here that we can go like that. We can add in our bench again like so, and then we can add in our lovely queue path just coming out of the back like a so. And if we just get our queue, like so. Now, again, you can fit in a shop right here, and annoyingly, you can't quite fit an extra shop right here, although, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. We can just chuck in, like, maybe a restroom right here is what I think I'm going to chuck in a dino hat store. Actually, we can't fit one of those over there. Just fit a restroom over here. Just chuck that in right there. And although it's not brilliant, it kind of is what it is, you know, that's what you're going to have to do. Anyway, guys, we've only got one more space to fit this here, but you can actually see we've hit 5 stars already, guys. We've already hit 5 stars on this park right here. So really, we don't even need to add an extra ride right here. Although we're going to add an extra ride because more money and etc, etc. So we're going to just add this last ride in right here. And I'm going to get all of the scenery in, and I'll see you then. So enjoy a bit of music. And there we go, people. We've got all of our stuff in right there, and without the need for a second floor even. We're already at 5 stars. You can see we've got over 185 guests. Now, the only couple last things that I'm going to go through right here is that you can add some extra little stalls in all the way along here. In fact, I encourage it because, you know, it'll get you obviously just a tiny bit more stuff right here in, and every little bit helps when you're trying to make some money. And obviously, you know, right now we've got nothing right here as people walk along here, you know. There's nothing for them to buy stuff at, and we want them to be you know, buying as much stuff as possible. So you can see that fits in beautifully right there, going all the way along. And now we're just going to go and set all those prices. But now comes the part which honestly is my least favorite part, and the whole point why I hate building money farms, and that's pricing. So right now, I obviously made everything $5 less, although if we want to be making as much money as absolutely possible right here, we obviously want to be putting everything to as high as a price as possible. Now, it's obviously completely different depending on which actual, you know, ride you've got right here. Although what I recommend doing is just basically just slowly incrementing the prices until they literally won't pay anymore. They literally won't pay anymore to get on. And that doesn't, that's not saying keep on raising it until maybe 1 or 2 people pay. Keep on raising it until you know, until you start seeing like any people doing red stuff. Now, this is extremely boring, and honestly, I kind of don't want to do it, but at the same time, I want to test this out, you know. I want to see how much money we actually get per hour right here. So, without further ado, people, I guess let's get doing money. Cue the time-lapse music. Now, one thing to think about right here, guys, is that if you go into the actual thoughts of the ride right here, you can see what they're thinking. And if they're saying something like, corkscrew coaster is extremely cheap, then of course we can raise up the price even more right here, because why not, you know? If they're basically saying that it's extremely cheap, you might as well raise up the price even more. And basically just keep on checking stuff and keep on checking your thoughts right here. Now, honestly, this is going to take for absolutely ages to go through every single one and raise them all up bit by bit. So I think what we're actually going to do right here, people, is we're just going to AFK with slightly less money. Although whatever we get right here, you'll be able to basically probably get about 1.5 times the amount. So we're going to AFK for an hour right here, and then times that by 1.5 times, and we'll work out a figure right here. Oh, some people are actually saying that these stalls are too expensive, which is because I didn't actually turn the prices down for some reason. But anyway, yeah, guys, so basically what we're going to do right here is, yeah, we're literally just going to sit here. I'm going to do a nice little time lapse right here for an hour of people just walking in and out of the park right here, so you can just see them absolutely walking around. And actually, speaking of the park, we can raise this price up all the way to about £100 right here, I'm guessing. We'll see if people are alright with that, but we're literally, I'm going to do a nice little time lapse right here. I'm going to, and I'm dynamic time of day, so you can see that I'm not, you know, lying or anything right here. This is actually how many people are walking in and out of the park right here, and you can see everyone walking in and out right here, and you will see my money slowly go up. So For starters, you can see this is the money that we're starting off right here. In fact, I'm going to write that down real quick. Right, so there we go, people. I have now wrote down the amount that we're starting off with right here, and you can see people are fine to pay £100. So without further ado, guys, let's actually get on with this time lapse right here. So my webcam's going to magically disappear for this because I'll probably go lay down or something like that while this is happening. But in the meantime, you know, guys, enjoy. I love a little time lapse of people running in and out of the park right here, and hopefully we'll get quite a bit of money right here. So there you go, people. As you just saw right there, we made about 150,000, I think, or something like that. But keeping it in mind, you know, obviously we're going to be making 1.5 times that amount, and probably even more here. That means that here you're going to be making at least £200,000 a day. £200,000 an hour if you do this properly, which means you should be making over 5 million a day with this money farm. And not only that, but you can also get a 5-star theme park and much more right here. And it's very easy to build. I've shown you right here, and honestly, the entire thing only took me maybe an hour to build right here. If it wasn't for the fact that I was doing the tutorial, I could probably get that down to probably half an hour, or maybe an hour, including all the prices and stuff like that right here. So it's a very easy to build farm right here, and it's very quick. So I hope, you know, it's been very helpful here. But it's something like, guys, I've spent over 2.5 hours on this video, and I've probably spent at least an hour on the editing right here. So it would really be appreciative if, you know, you leave a like. I do these every single week, you know, if you're new to the channel or anything like that. Here's all the lovely Twitch subscribers, Patrons, Discord server boosters. Come on Patreon at patreon.com/𝗂𝗍 for literally just £1 a month, and you get early access to videos, shout outs at the end of all the videos like so, and so much more. And you can do the same if you become a Twitch subscriber, which is at my Twitch, and the same with my Discord. You can boost that. All those links are down below. They're very easy to find, as well as all my other channels and stuff like that. But except for that, guys, I hope you all have a lovely day. I hope this has helped you out. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in another one. Goodbye.